Hi folks, Slick Slices here. I've got a little knife to show you here which is made by a Sheffield knife maker called Stephen Cocker. Stephen's father was a knife maker also in Sheffield, and he worked with Trevor Ablett, I believe. And I think Stephen knew him as a boy really. But anyway, here he is. He's making these lovely knives to many traditional Sheffield patterns. This particular pattern here is the Ettrick. Ettrick is a place in Scotland where it's known for its poetry. Actually, the Ettrick Shepherd is quite a well-known Scots poet. But the blade on it is a Wharncliffe. So if the Ettrick is named after Lord Ettrick and Napier, or Napier and Ettrick, I believe it is, and the Wharncliffe blade is named after Lord Wharncliffe, who was a Yorkshire lord, and apparently he and his gamekeeper came up with this pattern of blade for dealing with small game. And I suppose it makes sense in that it's quite a good shape for disemboweling small game and treating them without a huge big blade where you worry about nipping the intestines and things. This is quite a fine little knife. Now this particular one that Stephen has made for me is I think it's a carbon steel. I'm not actually quite sure on this one, but I think it was C70 steel or something similar. But it's got this beautiful popcorn stag, which was really, really nice. And of course, being a one-off, small batch maker, a little Mester type maker, he's not making these thousands at a time and running all these bits of stag through a machine to prepare them. He's actually doing it by hand, and as such he does get a good match for one side or the other. He also he puts his knives together very well, and then they are finished beautifully. It's really nicely done, and he uses two stamps. The one on one side just says made in Sheffield, and the other one is his Stephen Cocker stamp, which I have closed the knife. It's on a cam tang, by the way. You can see that rather better, I think. Anyway, it's a nice little knife. The pattern is it's not that rare. Most of the Sheffield makers make one. I've got one by Michael May, and I've also got this one by Arthur Wright. But I have to say, in terms of the finish and so forth, this is just an Arthur Wright standard run-of-the-mill knife from their production line. It's not an Ashley Harrison special, but and it is, I think, quite a bit cheaper. I think this was probably in the £30 to £40 range, and this one was £65 delivered. So you might expect a little bit more for the extra money, but he certainly delivers, because this is a very nice knife. It's a very usable knife, sufficiently so that you can see that I've used it. I've just tried to clean that. It's got some, I think there's some tape gum on it. But as well as disemboweling small animals, this pattern is also very good for disemboweling small packages and opening envelopes and things like that. It makes a good pattern for that. The other thing about this pattern is that I find quite nice is it's a very non-threatening pattern. You've got a tiny little blade that wouldn't look out of place on a little equal end penknife, but you've got a decent sized handle which gives you enough to get a grip of, and it's particularly good in this kind of a hold, so it's good for whittling and carving, but there's enough of it in your hand to have a decent handful of knife, despite the diminutive size of the blade. So in today's society, where everybody jumps up and down and squawks because they've seen something sharp and they think it might cut them. The sort of knife is a good one to have about you. So anyway, take that out of the way. Just for a size comparative, just so you know how big, small these are. The handle is slightly larger than the 93mm Victorinox Pioneer. The blade is it's not only it's a little shorter. It's not that much shorter, but it's a little shorter. But it's just much finer. And of course, it's a Warncliffe blade rather than a spear point. And the other comparator that I ought to use is my favourite EDC knife, which is the Enzo PK70, which, as you can see, the handle is very slightly shorter than the Ettrick, but the blade is just a little bit longer, but of course much broader. So anyway, Stephen Cocker, the Ettrick pattern. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this stuff, please give it a thumbs up, and I promise there will be more content. If for no other reason than I'm filming several videos today. So please subscribe if you want to see more of it. Thank you very much. Bye.